Hello everyone, welcome to another project which is Employee Management System. So in this project, we will deep dive into the world of databases and analytics. And then we will build something truly remarkable together. Yes, together. So before we start, guys, it's my humble request. Please make sure to do every step along with me. If there is a need, you can pause the video and gather all the essentials and then start implementing as we progress. Okay. See, this hands-on practice will make a huge difference in your learning. So I'm going to divide this whole project into 6 easy steps, and our formula will be 1 step a day. I'm going to upload 1 step each day. Okay, so the steps which we are going to follow, the trajectory which we are going to follow will be like this. So the first one is understanding the data. Here we will see what is the story behind the data, and we will see other essential things which we need to realize. Okay. Now the second step is to learn to create database and different tables, and then we will also see to populate the data into such tables. Then we will try to do basic queries. Okay, so whatever the basic query we will execute those queries. After that, on 4th day, our 4th step will be to learn to crack the advanced queries. How to crack advanced queries, what will be the tips and tricks there, we will see. Okay. Then we will learn to visualize the data using the visualization tool. This is a very important step while creation of the report of our project. This will be a very important step. So we will learn this on our 5th day. And at last, we will learn to create a comprehensive report, an effective report, not only report, an effective report, which we can showcase on our social media platforms like LinkedIn, and which we can upload on GitHub. And this will definitely make our portfolio very strong. So this is it. This will be the trajectory of this project. Now let's start with our first step, which is understanding the data. So here we have total 6 tables: attendance, department, employee table, employee project table, and salary table. And I will tell this combined table later. Okay, so let's firstly have a look on these 6 tables, which are attendance, department, employee project, and salary. So the very first table is employee table. See, in the employee table, there is employee ID. Suppose you are an employee in any company, okay, and you will get any ID, okay, like student ID. There is an employee ID also. So this ID will be your identity in that company. Then there will be your name, first name, last name. Then whatever department you got, the department ID will be there. Then your hiring date. Okay. Then your salary, either you are a male or female, your gender, your email, and then your phone number. Now come and let's have a look for the data types of all these columns. Right? So let's start with the phone number. Basically, phone number here carries same length. Okay, there is no variation in their length. So we can consider this phone number as char. Fine. If there is a variation, then we will take it as varchar. For the email also, there is a variation in the length. There is a variation in the length. Number of characters are different in each row. Okay, so we'll consider it under varchar. I have uploaded a detailed video of data types, practical video as well as theory video. I will give the link in the description, guys. please, if you haven't seen that, if you have any doubt about the data types concept, then please go there and check it and clear your concepts about data types. Okay, now come here, which is gender. So gender, you can see there is only one letter. So either we can take it as char, or here only two values like male or female. Okay, whenever we have our pre-decided values, then we can take it as enum also. Fine. So here we will take either as enum or what, or char. Fine. Now come to the salary. Salary will come under int if there is huge number. There is a very large number. Okay. Then we have to take it as big int, not int. We have to consider it as big int. But here this number is not that huge, so we will consider it as int only. Then the higher date will come under date data type. And we have to remember the format of the date, which is YYY dash MM dash DD. Here it should be no mistake. If there is a mistake, then SQL will instantly throw the error. Okay. So hiring date. Now come to the department ID. If we talk about any ID, either it's employee ID, department ID, if the number is small, guys, okay, then we can take it either in int. If number is very small, we know the limit of the number, then we can consider it under a small int. Okay. If the number is large, then we have to consider it as int, or instead of taking it as int or a small int, we can consider it as simply varchar. Fine. Okay. So either a small int if number is a small, or int if number is bigger, or in place of both of these, we can replace both of them with the varchar. If there is a mentioning of any ID in that case. Okay. Now, the first name or the last name, all the names will go of always under varchar, because name letters will vary always. Okay. Now come to the next table, which is employee project table. So here is employee ID. What I told for the ID, employee ID and project ID, either a small int, small int, or in place of a small int and int, we can consider it simply as varchar. This is it. Okay. So for employee ID, project ID, it will be varchar. Role, varchar. Start date and end date of that project will be date. And we have to take care of this format of the date. Okay. Now come to our next table, which is project table. So this table tells everything about the project. What is the ID of our project? What will be the data type? Varchar or int. What is the project name? Varchar. What is the department ID? Varchar or int. What is the start date of the project? What is the end date of the project? Both of them will be date, data type. Budget will come under int data type. Okay, if number is very large, then big int. Then the project manager ID, varchar or int. Then the status comes under varchar or what? Or enum, because there are predefined values, which is completed, ongoing, or not started. Okay, so we can give it as enum also. Now come to our next table, which is salary. So for the salary, date, effective date is there. So effective date comes under date. Then the deduction, if there is any deduction, okay, it will goes to int. Bonus, int. Salary, int. Employee ID, salary ID, varchar or small int or int. Okay. Now the last table is attendance table. So it is the attendance ID, it is the employee ID, it is the date, and it is the status. For a status, we can take varchar or enum data type. For date, date data type, and for these two IDs, either varchar or int. Fine. So these are our 6 tables. Now, one table which you have seen here, which was combined. So this is the khurafat of mine, which I did. Basically, I combined all these 6 tables here on Excel separately. So that I can find out the relationship between all the tables. This I do basically on the paper, but as I have to create the video, so I did it on the Excel. Okay, so attendance, department, employee, project, and then salary, and then employee project. Now we have to simply check how to establish relationship between two different tables. Okay, so can you observe the relationship between department and attendance? Now the question arises, how to find the relationship? कैसे पता चलेगा? So we can find the relationship on the basis of any common column. Is there any common column between these two, attendance and department? So no, there is no common column. Here attendance ID, employee ID. Here department ID, department name, manager ID. No common column. Okay. And if you have seen my database video where I have explained the basics of the databases, then there I have explained that there is a relationship called many to many. In many to many, what happened? We cannot establish a direct relationship between any two tables. We need a third table. Okay, so to get a relationship between attendance and department table, we need third table, which is employee here. Okay, see how employee, because in employee there is employee ID. Employee ID is here also in attendance. Okay, and in this employee there is department ID. Department ID is here also in department table. So this table is linking these two indirectly. Okay. Similarly, is there any relationship between project and employee? Or is there any relationship between project and department and attendance? So project has no direct relationship between any of two. Okay. So we can relate this project with the employee. How? There is employee ID and there is no employee ID, but there is department ID and there is also department ID. So on this base, we can connect these two tables. Then come to the next one, which is salary and project table. So for salary, project and employee, these two tables are also get interlinked. How? Here employee ID, here also employee ID. So this is the common column. Okay. Then anything else we can connect. So salary has no direct relationship with the project. Okay, salary firstly have to connect with the employee, then employee with the project, and then these three can get connected with each other. And the last one is employee project. So for the employee project, there is employee ID. Again, this is directly related to employee table, which is where employee ID is there. Okay, then the project ID, this table is linked with this table also here, project ID, right? So here, like this, we can see the different relationships between different tables. Now there is one important term called primary key and foreign key. Okay, so can you tell, do you have any concept, do you have any idea about primary key and foreign key? Guys, primary key comes when we have to talk about single table only. Okay, when we are talking about single table, suppose we are talking about only this employee table. No other tables are available here, only employee table I am talking. Then the primary key will come into the picture. How? किसको बोलेंगे प्राइमरी कीज में से? कीज बोलेंगे, किसी भी एक कॉलम को ही हम की बोलेंगे. ठीक है, But which one is the primary column here or primary key here? So that column is primary key whose values are unique. Okay, so like employee ID, here all values will be unique. If they are unique, then we will call this employee ID as primary key. Okay, now the foreign key comes into the picture when we are talking about two or more tables. How? If we have to connect employee table and the project table. Okay, then this department ID, not department ID, department ID can be repeated. So suppose there is employee ID, okay, and there is also an employee ID column, and we are linking these two tables, then this employee ID will convert it into the foreign key, after joining employee ID, employee and project table. Let's have another example. Here you can see employee table and attendance table. Here employee ID and employee ID both are common, right? So for this green table, the primary key will be employee ID. But if we have to join this green table and this yellow table, these two tables, if we have to join them, then after joining, this employee ID will convert it into the foreign key here in this table, in this attendance table. It will convert it into the foreign key. Okay. This is it for this video, because here we have to discuss about the data set, which we discussed already. If there is any query, guys, if there is any query, then please do comment in the comment box so that I can solve your problem. Then tomorrow I will share another video which is about how to create the database, different tables on MySQL workbench, and then how to populate those tables with these datas. This same table we have to create it in MySQL workbench. Okay, so for that you have to wait for a day, and tomorrow I will upload that video also, and this data set I will upload on GitHub. I will give the link in the description box. If you get time, then you can go to that link and check the data set, consume this data set, drink this data set, eat this data set, because the first essential step is to learn everything about the data set. Once you learn the data, what your data is all about, okay, once you, rattamification, like you know everything about your data, then you can solve all the queries in a blink of your eye. Okay, guys, so this is it for this video. Take care. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.